Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, whether you're tuning in on the radio dial here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM. We welcome you to our program. Also, those joining us through our online affiliates around the world, we're glad to have all of you with us as well. I'm excited to welcome Dean Miller to our program today. He has written a book that I know is going to make a lot of people jealous that I get a chance to talk to him about. It's about world wrestling, not only about the history of it, but also some of the individuals that have really made it, I think, the greatness that it is today. The book is called World Wrestling, absolutely everything you need to know. We're going to talk to Dean not only about his own love of World Wrestling entertainment, but also what has been laid for him now in book form to be able to share some of the stars we've gotten to realize, some of the history of it, but also, of course, what it's been laid for him also to hear from all of you who are fans as well. If you're just not hearing about the book, we'll tell you at the end of our segment how you can get your own copy. But Dean, hello to you and welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, Cyrus. Glad to be here.
Look, the pleasure's definitely all mine. There is so much in this book that you have given us, and as the title alludes to, it is absolutely everything that you need to know and probably didn't know about World Wrestling and the history behind it. What has it been like for you already, Dean, to be able to see the response to it?
It's exciting, because I like to think, obviously as an author, you want to write a book that can serve a number of audiences, and I feel like this one is a great introduction for someone, either they're young or they're just getting into it and they don't know a lot. It allows them to learn about the history. But I think there's also, even for the most seasoned fan who feels like they know everything, I'd like to believe that on every page or so they're going to see something and say, oh, I didn't know that, and be entertained and surprised, as well as getting a kind of walk down memory lane. Oh, I remember when that happened, that kind of thing.
Right. Well, I mentioned to you, Dean, that it was my brother, Alvin, and I want to definitely dedicate this segment to him, that introduced me to World Wrestling. He and my uncle Henry were very big fans. I mean, we're always watching. Henry would actually go, when they were here in Mississippi, would actually go to watch them at the Coliseum. Has that been part of also the excitement for you, Dean, not only being able to hear, the stories that other people are sharing, but also to see how through this book you're able to remind them of why they love World Wrestling so much?
Absolutely. I watched a little bit as a kid, not as much as the typical fan, but I became a kind of dyed-in-the-wool fan in college. I had some friends who stopped by my dorm and said, hey, we're going to go down to the Boston Garden and watch WWF, as it was called then. Do you want to come with us? And I said, I've never seen anything, and they talked me into it, and I went and saw a live show, and I was hooked from then on, and then pretty much booking my Monday nights to watch the TV show and going to the shows whenever possible. And I also had the honor and privilege of working at WWE for 7 years.
Yeah, and I think that is what really makes this book so meaningful, because it's not just history that you've gathered, but it's history that you have gotten to appreciate as well. Dean, the other thing that I love about the book is that the photos are great. I know a lot of people will get the book just for the photos. I also enjoyed reading the actual stories, and I think that is what a lot of people will really find fascinating as well. I mean, give us an idea of how much time did it take you to kind of gather all of this together and to be able to complete the book?
Well, obviously, I can't take 100% of the credit for writing it, because I had a co-author, Steve Pantaleo, who currently works at WWE. But it took us a couple months to kind of write it, and then the amazing thing is working with a publisher like DK, because I just wrote the text, and all of a sudden they work with WWE, get the photos, and then they're sending me back pages with some questions or places where they need a little more information, or for me to cut a line, that kind of thing. And all of a sudden I see the words that, like I said, I wrote over, say, a 3-month period being turned into these spectacular spreads, because it is the photos and the color and the layout design just brings it all to life. And I almost say, wait, I wrote that? And so it's pretty entertaining, but it is it's amazing to see what it became.
Yeah. I think one of the individuals that people will find quite interesting because he's been in the news recently, Dean, has been Ric Flair on pages 14 and 15. They're able to get some of the history of him. I think, again, that's what's going to make this book so timely because, of course, him having the health scare that he recently did, him just announcing a couple of days or so, I think, his first public, appearance since being hospitalized. I mean, is that also what you've been noticing, especially with social media, that these people, we feel as though they're part of our family because we've gotten to watch them over the years and gotten to know them, we feel like.
Absolutely. I mean, Rick has been on television, whether you're a fan of WWE or previously when he was in the NWA and WCW, for 4 decades. And so it's like, when you hear he had his health scare, it's almost like hearing that something happened to your uncle or your your grandfather or something. And so to know that he's on the road to recovery was pretty exciting. And you're right that people can read more about him. There's a spread on Rick, and then there's also a spread on his group, the Four Horsemen, that was also so popular and over the years.
Right. Well, there has been so much that has been said about the WWE and, of course, World Wrestling Federation. Now people kind of have it all in one place, right? I mean, you've kind of given us that. Another thing that I love that I think will be great, and I mentioned this to my brother as well, as far as, spending time with friends, as far as the trivia goes. Is that kind of what you hope that people are kind of able to, not only, of course, to read about it in the book, read the trivia, but kind of create their own games where they're able to have their own, trivia contests?
Absolutely, and I mean, I've always been a fan of trivia, not just for wrestling, but all kind of pop culture. But in fact, 5 years ago, I wrote a book of just trivia questions for WWE called 10 Count Trivia. But this is the most up to date, and it's a way that there's a Q&A on many of the pages, so you can sit around with your friends, particularly if they're fellow fans. You ask the question, see if they can answer it. Or there are leaderboards where they talk about the most championship reigns. We talk about the most championship reigns, and you guys can take turns trying to guess who's on that list, that kind of thing. So absolutely, it's all the trivia is a big part of the fun. Sharing your knowledge, showing off what you know, and learning something new.
Yeah. Speaking of learning something new, as we wrap up here, Dean, what was one of the surprising things that you found out as you were kind of compiling this book?
Well, I think I kind of heard it in the back of my mind, but then I was doing the research around it. Andre the Giant, when he was growing up, was too large for his school bus because he was always a big young kid. And so a neighbor offered to Andre's father, well, I'll drive Andre to school every day because I have a truck. And that neighbor was Samuel Beckett, who is, of course, a Nobel Prize-winning author who won the Nobel Prize in Literature, which is a good day because I think they announced the new Nobel Prize in Literature today. So the idea that Andre was being driven to school back and forth by a Nobel Prize winner I thought was a pretty fun and interesting fact. And apparently all they talked about was cricket.
Well, I think our audience will definitely be able to find a lot of great facts in this book, Dean. Thank you so much again for the time. Again, Dean Miller has been our guest for this segment. The new book is WW. Absolutely everything you need to know is available now. You all can get your own copy through our friends at Amazon.com or through your favorite local bookstore. If they don't have it, they'll be more than happy to be able to order it for you. And, Dean, let our audience know, how can they stay connected with you? I'm on Twitter at Dean J. Miller, and I'm also on Instagram. I probably need to post a little bit more. I'm going to start putting some stuff about the book, maybe some things that from behind the scenes or things that we didn't even fit in the book itself. Okay. So definitely make sure you all are staying connected with Dean. Dean, again, congratulations to you, and I really appreciate the time today.
All right. Thank you, Cyrus. I hope you have a good day.
You do the same thing. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. If you all came in late and missed part of the conversation with Dean, don't worry. Thanks to our online friends, you all can catch the replay right after we go off the air. The link is already available through our social media sites. So head over to Facebook.com/CyrusWebb or go over to Twitter.com/CyrusWebb. If you click on the link there, you can listen to the show completely for free and share with your friends from there too. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. You all make it a great one.